Oh, it's the Shitcase Cinema. We just have to go out there and kick some supernatural ass.
Hello, Shitcase Cinema fans. I know it's nearly Christmas, but I'm not reviewing a Christmas film, so sorry about that. So this classic, and I mean I assume it's going to be a classic, but there are never any guarantees with Shitcase Cinema films, is called Demon Wind. Sounds good, yeah? Now I'll try to find a few Christmas references if possible, but don't count on it. I should mention that my last reviews of The Blind Dead, now it's been a while since I looked at horror films back to back. I think it was perhaps over 2 years ago when I had that killer run with Raiders of the Living Dead, Humanoids from the Deep, Ghost of Camp Blood, and The Lift. All bona fide amazing horror films, so let's hope that this one delivers the goods. So it's 1931 and we meet this woman trying to keep out evil forces, and oh look, picture of Jesus there at the very start, so there's your Christmas reference already, bingo. Anyway, her husband turns out to be possessed, and after changing into a demon she tells him,
"If the crystal breaks, it's the end of both of us."
Not sure how that works, but whatever. Oh right, there you go. Hey, if you say that's what happens when you drop one of those on the floor, I'll believe it. What's with the title anyway? Demon Wind? It doesn't even make any sense. What, do the demons all have flatulence issues? Then we're whisked into present day, or 1990 when this film was released. Ah, the good old days. And let's meet our stellar cast of engaging, interesting and three-dimensional characters. So here's Corey, Elaine, Hardcore, Stacy, Chuck, Jack, Bonnie, Del, Terry, Willie. Why is that amusing? Stop laughing. Regina and George. We've already seen those two die, by the way, because of exploding snow globes. Now, most of these characters that I just listed off, you don't even know who the hell they are. They get introduced. Seconds later, they're dead. They're just there as cannon fodder. And the one thing that they all have in common, believe it or not, is they are all annoying, but highly amusing at the same time. So Corey and Elaine are driving through the hills of the countryside and stumble across a random petrol station, which Corey claims that he's visited before.
I've been here before.
What?
In a dream.
Cue Corey standing around naked at a petrol station. No idea why he has these weird dreams, but that sound must be the Demon Wind. Ah, see, now the title makes sense. Haha, Charles Philip Moore, you creative son of a gun. Then they ask about a farm where they want to go to.
This map says it's right near here.
That map's wrong. Now, unless you want some gas, why don't you just move on?
Give that man an Oscar, but they don't give him an Oscar. They head inside to inquire about this farm.
Never heard of it.
But surprise, surprise, they get there, but only after a bunch of their friends turn up to add to the forthcoming body count, and the old man tells them that nobody owns the farm except for
the dead.
Seconds later, he tells Corey what happened in 1931 to his grandparents, but he says it was...
I saw what happened to the Carter family. It was a drought of 29.
Is it just me, or when films have menus on display in the background, you just kind of zone out and want to focus on what they're selling and how cheap the prices are? Anyway, 1931, 1929, whatever. Charles Philip Moore, drugs are bad. So why does Corey want to get to this farm anyway and drag a load of his oddball friends along?
I need to have some answers about who I am.
Well, I hope they're worth it, boy. Turns out these goons from the start were his grandparents, which takes ages to get explained, but I just explained it now really quickly, so you're welcome. Moving on, they find the remains of the farmhouse, and as you can see, there's very little left standing, but as they step through the door, it's as if they're transported into another time or dimension. It's really not important because it's not explained, and in a film like this, we don't really need it to be explained, so let's bring on the horror. Cue exploding fireplaces, exploding furniture, flying knives that nearly kill Corey, not to mention exploding turkeys. Does that happen at Christmas? I suppose it depends on how shit your cooking skills are, but anyway, I'd take this as a bad sign and leave, but our team are morons, so they don't. Well, they try, but the cars won't start.
My battery's dead!
We have to get out of here now!
She's right, this place is possessed.
So they decide to walk back to the petrol station, but an evil fog transports them all back to the farmhouse.
Oh no.
Son of a bitch.
You know, it's the quality acting on show. I love it. Almost as much as I love watching these special effects as these three strange kids appearing. And things get even more mental when a kid powerfully throws Del away, and then when Bonnie freaks out, she gets turned into a doll. And nobody's freaked out by this at all, it's just another normal day as far as they're concerned. What the... You know, sometimes these films amaze even me. I just don't know what to say sometimes. So what do? Forget sleeping in the cars, they decide to stay in the house that nearly killed them. Ah yeah, definitely, that makes total sense. Definitely the thing to do. So Corey finds his grandmother's diary which tells him where to find something.
In the bottom drawer of the vanity you will find 2 daggers which are part of the sacred set of 7. It is written that with all 7 you can kill the son of Satan.
So they need 7 to kill the son of Satan, a la The Omen, which is a classic horror film if there ever was one, yet they only have 2 daggers. Is grandmother taking the piss? What good will that do? Kill Satan's hoof shiner? Give me a break. Fuck you, grandmother, and you goddamn snow globe. Anyway, Stacy and Chuck are called outside when a topless woman calls for them.
Demon.
So why go outside then, you goons? But they do when they get surrounded by ghouls or whatever they are.
Oh man, I think we're in trouble.
Now, there's a choice phrase I use every now and then for moments like these. Can you guess what it is? If you said, "You goon!" then you'd be right. Well done. You must be very proud of yourselves.
I think you're right.
You goon! So they pull the ghouls full of lead, do Van Damme roundhouse kicks on dead bitches, but sadly both die. Did I mention they were both magicians? No? Well, they are. Adding nothing to their ability for fighting against the demons, but yeah, pointless fact for you right there, ladies and gentlemen, they were magicians. Why didn't any of the gunshots wake up their friends and they only woke up when it's all over? Well, prepare for things to get really horrifying from here on in.
Oh no! No!
That was top drawer acting, lass. Well done. Man, this film rocks so much that it could melt your face right off. More cannon fodder appear, and despite the group's best efforts of telling them not to turn off their car engine, they do it anyway.
I said don't shut it off.
What would we do wrong?
Every single piece of acting in this movie is jaw-droppingly special. It truly is something right out of the How Not to Act Realistically manual.
I want that manual. I was so close to becoming the ultimate ninja!
2 more of the gang die when Dolph Lundgren's wannabe girlfriend turns into a trollop from a Saturday night out uptown on the piss and stabs him in the head. Now there's only one thing to say to that.
But I loved you.
Sometimes I think the only solution to watching things like this is to give myself a lobotomy. So while exploring a barn, it's time for another fatality, and I love how people's reactions are always to stand around and not help their friends or even show any emotion. Elaine's the worst for this every time. Back in the house and Willie's had his head chopped off. Damn, that sounds nasty. And finally, Corey decides to use the daggers.
Corey, don't use the dagger!
Priceless.
You're all screaming hell tonight. All of you.
Right, I don't know what the hell they just said, but why is that dildo staring straight into the camera? Now here's my top 5 random bullshit moments. Number 1, Corey and Elaine don't wear their seatbelts when driving. Santa would not be impressed. Number 2, kicking cans into the air is a joy to witness until you karate kick that sucker at a meathead's face and he freaks out.
Skinny little chicken shit, I'll shove that karate crap up your ass. Be my guest.
Priceless. Number 3, why does Corey remind me of a poor man's James Woods? A very poor one. Number 4, punching your girlfriend's ex in the face results in dramatic Oscar-winning scenes.
We could fight if you want to. But we don't have anything to fight about.
Well, let's go inside then. Good idea.
Number 5, 80s fashion victims still going strong circa 1990. And one more because it's Christmas. Annoying zombie versions of your friends will result in a bitch slap. Bosh! Now, the ending is upon us, so be prepared.
Get ready.
His mouth didn't even move. That's real talent, money well spent. So Evil Dead 4 Eyes squeezes Elaine's boobs, and her reaction is the same as with anything. But then stabbing him in the eye with a dagger makes him transform into his normal self and reverse age until he eventually becomes a dove. Why? Because Charles Philip Moore, that's why. Then a priest turns up from nowhere and it happens to be the old geezer from the petrol station, and then demon zombies turn into magical special effects that just aren't very special at all, and a haggard looking Satan appears. Seems a bit unstable wobbling around in his outfit, probably pissed out of his head to agree to make this dirge. Corey casts a spell that makes him turn into a reject from Star Wars and or Trek. Kind of looks like an elf without a hat. Is that a Christmas reference maybe?
Yes.
Anyway, he kicks Satan in the balls as you do. They have an awesome fight with random sound effects there. Some weird stuff happens, I don't know what. They fight some more before Corey says,
Get the diary. Read the last spell.
And the spell makes him turn on fire. I like how he starts to say something which probably explains this movie in a nutshell, but it's impossible to know what he says, and then he just explodes. Could have just thrown a snow globe at him, Elaine. I don't know where I find these films. I really don't. And it's not like I've got a treasure trove of hidden unpolished gems that I just dig out every now and then. They just find me. It's very strange. It's almost like I'm a beacon for attracting shit. The last time I remember reviewing something this terrible was back in 2013 with Bachelor Party in the Bungalow of the Damned by Brian Thompson. Except that was insanely bad, and that muppet had about 100 so-called roles to fill, so at least Charles Philip Moore can sleep easy knowing that. Man, this has it all. Magicians, lovely scenery, melted bubblegum looking Satan getting kicked in the balls, fucking elf type thing, fake James Woods, fake Ivan Drago, plenty of wooden acting, one-liners, karate, zombies, and plenty more. It's almost like a weird Evil Dead rip-off, except that this is on a completely different warped level. In early December I put out a message saying I was working on a new review and asked whether fans thought that it would be a Christmas review or not. With the silly option, of course, to choose Zardos 2. God knows who voted for it, but Evil Doughboy 666 said, "Wait, they made a sequel to Zardos?" No, there isn't a Zardos 2, but in October during a Q&A video I did say, "Yes, I will personally fund the making of Zardos 2, and I'll get Sean Connery out of retirement, the lazy bastard." And then sadly, days after that video aired, Sean Connery died. Personally, I just think he got wind of my plans and thought, fuck that, and just died. This film truly does not care one little bit, and that means you shouldn't. Switch off your brain and laugh at it for what it is, a ridiculous, incoherent, convoluted, ramshackle of a horror film. So, there you go guys, that was interesting, shall we say, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. Now, I know that this year's not been a very productive one for Shitcase Cinema. I will hold my hands up and say, yes, I have been a lazy bastard, I'm sorry, but such is life. It's been a strange year for everybody, let's be honest, okay? I'm sure you understand. So I guess all that is left for me to say is have a Merry Christmas, all the best for next year, because frankly it can't be any worse than the one we've just lived through. Keep watching shitty films, or just watch my movie reviews of shitty films, makes more sense. Oh yeah. Thanks for the support as always and the kind words that I get. Thanks to the fans as well who bought my latest novel and given positive feedback. I really, really appreciate that. So look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the new year. Cheerio.